Ooh. Okay. Rock and also roll. So, hi. I'm Kurt Miller, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing. This is my first time attempting one of these vlog things. But I've heard they're pretty good for sharing our thoughts with others. And, well, I have some thoughts to share. So I got myself a tripod and a little film light. And, oh yeah, I learned how to do that trendy jump edit everyone does. Yeah. Anyway, well, I hope you like it. I'd like to start this vlog by telling you something personal. By telling you about the best day of my life. The year is 2019. The date is July 22nd. The location is boxofficemojo.com. On this day, Avengers Endgame is officially declared the highest grossing film of all time! Okay, so technically I didn't really have much to do, or even anything to do with the creation of Endgame. The stat doesn't actually adjust for inflation. Technically, it is still gone with the wind. But, as Rhett Butler said, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Because that's not the point. The point is, for my whole childhood, I was ridiculed for loving superheroes. Is that Superman on your shirt? Superman's for babies. Miller's a freaking baby! But now, it turns out, I was just way ahead of my time. It's irrefutable. People love comic books, films, TV shows, memes. They can't get enough. Now, while I was delighted at this, quite frankly, astonishing turn of events, I couldn't help but wonder, what changed? How did comics go from the laughingstock of the school playground to the centre of today's cultural zeitgeist? Well, I have been doing some thinking. If we have time for anything right now, it's thinking. And I think I've come up with an answer. A theory, at least. To explain, I would like to introduce you to one of my favourite comic books of all time. Issue number 85. Series DC Comics presents. Title, The Jungle Line. Starring the creme de la creme of all superheroes, Superman himself. Here, the Man of Steel is presented with a treacherous new foe by the name of Blood Moral. So what is Blood Moral? Brainiac's killer weaponry, Lex Luthor's new strain of kryptonite, a fearsome member of Darkseid's elite. Even worse, dear listener. Blood Moral is a fungus. I know, but please hear me out. It's worth it, because Blood Moral is not just any fungus. It's a fungus from Krypton, and it infects Superman. All of a sudden, Blood Moral doesn't seem so laughable, does it? Superman loses control of his powers, and he begins destroying the world he loves. The overexertion of his body is going to kill him, and he knows it. There is no cure. So, in the hopes of finding somewhere free from the risk of civilian casualty, the Man of Tomorrow heads south to die. Now, I know what you're thinking. Really? A story featuring a killer pathogen? Read the room, Miller! I understand, but please bear with me, because this isn't any story. It's a comic book, and as such, it must have a comic book ending. An ending where everything, and I do mean everything, turns out okay. Because Superman, superhero he may be, is not the hero of this story. The person charged with saving the day, created by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson, is none other than Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing. He's like if a swamp were a person. Seriously, he is like the most unlikely superhero you could ever imagine. There are no colourful tights, no perfect hair, or chiseled jaw to see here, folks. And yet, he saves Superman. Oh, but let me tell you, it ain't easy. After all, what's a comic book without a bro? Superman's now unruly powers certainly pack a punch, but Swamp Thing's no chump. He's got superhuman strength, regenerative abilities, and he can talk to plants. But it is this very power that allows Swamp Thing to break through Superman's fungus-induced condition and cure his infection. Superman passes out, exhausted but safe, and Swamp Thing retreats back into the undergrowth to tend to his own wounds. When Superman finally awakes alone, he assumes the whole thing was a hallucination, a fever dream. He assumes his body persevered, conquered the infection, and he heads home, none the wiser. I think that is a stunning comic book, but I can already hear the kids in the playground. Hey Miller, there's just one problem. In real life, a swamp man isn't gonna save the day just in the nick of time. And that's not wrong. It's not real life. But it's not meant to be. I mean, let's take the real life version of this story, just for a second, right? You wanna know what happens? Superman gets sick, and he dies. The end. And that ending? That's not okay. Not here. They've tried it. Lord knows they've tried it. You want to know what happens when a writer kills off Superman? They bring him back. Spoilers. There's only so many stories of they got sick and then they died that we can take. And recently, well, there've been a lot of them. Too many. So I'm going to say thanks Len, thanks Bernie, thanks Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, thanks to Alan Moore and the sensational team behind The Jungle Line. Because while it doesn't delude me into thinking a swamp man is gonna save me, it certainly gives me a break from worrying about a horrific alternative. The problem with Superman's for babies, it just doesn't add up. He's not for babies. He's not even necessarily for kids, because kids, generally speaking, don't actually need Superman, because their world is bright enough and exciting enough without him. It's as we get older and we start to realise, oh, you know, there are parts of some of this life thing that are going to be really, really hard. And the age you have that realisation is the age that you stop making fun of superheroes and start help breaking box office records. I'm really glad you went to see Avengers Endgame. Not because it means I was right, but because you needed a break. I really hope you enjoyed it. You deserve it. Thanks for listening. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Right. Really hope I pressed record that time.